August 1963, as Southerners in Congress delayed action on the new bill, civil rights groups organized a massive march on Washington. More than 250,000 people filled the mall, from the Lincoln Memorial to the Washington Monument.
The fourth major hurricane of the season slams at Jacksonville Beach and points north and south along the Florida-Georgia coastline. Winds of 100 miles an hour and upwards.
People have long known the destructive nature of hurricanes. These storms, bringing heavy winds and rain, may last several hours and have a diameter of over 480 kilometers or 300 miles. Hurricanes form over warm tropical oceans in areas of low air pressure. They consist of high-velocity winds blowing in a circular motion around a low-pressure center known as the eye of the storm. The only defense against hurricanes is through early warning and preparation. Meteorologists can now track these storms and measure their force through the use of radar and satellites.
It looks like now the center will pass inland sometime near dawn. Well, as it goes across the Florida Peninsula, of course, we're going to have significant damage here in Miami, Fort Lauderdale area.
The National Hurricane Center's prediction was correct. In August 1992, Hurricane Andrew caused billions of dollars in damage and killed a number of people when it hit the southeastern United States.
For all South Africans, an unforgettable occasion.
Mr. Mandela has walked a long road and now stands at the top of the hill.
On September 21, 1993, Russian President Boris Yeltsin dissolved parliament. 2 weeks later, troops loyal to Yeltsin stormed the parliament building, which lawmakers had occupied in protest. After an 8-hour battle, the anti-Yeltsin forces surrendered.
I've seen everything in the last few years. This is the worst.
It has been a catastrophe in slow motion. Floods swamping some 7,000 homes and forcing more than 31,000 people to evacuate. For many, the disaster would be followed by economic ruin.
I'm going to try to get on the bottom bolt now.
We had a good aliveness test.
Oh, great. All right. Outstanding. It's hot for me because the arm's very stretched now. Okay. How about a little bit of port? Like 6 inches. I can give you a port. Okay.
So, you want to play some basketball? Fast-paced and action-packed. Basketball is one of the most popular sports in the world. To play and to watch. The object? To get the ball in the basket. Some of the skills you'll need include dribbling, blocking, passing, and, oh yes, shooting. Being tall is not a requirement, but it helps. All you need is a hoop and a ball.
Earthquakes like the one that struck Kobe, Japan on January 17, 1995 are massively destructive. These earthquakes are caused by huge pieces of the Earth's crust, called tectonic plates, either sliding against each other or pushing into one another. While the science of predicting earthquakes has not yet been perfected, new structures are designed to minimize damage and casualties. When an earthquake strikes, stand in a doorway away from chimneys and windows, or get under a sturdy piece of furniture. Tree frogs build a nest of foam by beating their legs. The marsupial frog carries its eggs in a pouch on its back. The gastric breeding frog swallows its eggs and regurgitates hatched young.
In an 11th-hour agreement negotiated by former United States President Jimmy Carter, General Raul Sabres, Haiti's military leader, agreed to allow the return of exiled President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. 20,000 U.S. troops secured the country, and on October 15, 1994, Aristide returned to Haiti.
Violence, no. Vengeance, no. Reconciliation, yes.
As seen in this time-lapse video, some snakes can eat things many times their diameter by unhinging their jaws.
In 1949, Germany was divided by the victors of World War II into occupied zones. The western regions united to form a federal republic, and the Soviet-controlled zone became Communist East Germany. The Cold War had begun. Berlin, the former capital of Germany, was divided into East Berlin and West Berlin, but was located deep in the Soviet-controlled zone. In 1961, the East German government erected a wall separating the two halves of the city. The Western world helped prevent the complete isolation of West Berlin through an effort led by the United States. President John F. Kennedy declared his commitment.
As a free man, I take pride in the word, Ich bin ein Berliner.
At the brink of nuclear war, the United States and Soviet Union reached a stalemate. But the Berlin Wall remained a symbol of the Cold War battle line known as the Iron Curtain. It was not until the 1980s that Cold War tensions eased through the glasnost policies of Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. Finally, in November 1989, emigration barriers dropped, allowing free passage between the two halves of the city. Soon the wall crumbled at the hands of the people it once divided.
Throughout the history of the United States, women have fought for equality. Feminists Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott organized the first Women's Rights Convention in 1848, where they made the first public demand for voting rights for women. After years of organized rallies and civil disobedience, women in the United States finally won the right to vote in 1919 with the passage of the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
Dance is a rhythmic pattern of movement and one of the earliest forms of human expression. It is performed and enjoyed throughout the world and can take many forms, including ballet, modern, folk, and ceremonial dances. It involves movement and the use of space, energy to control the movement, rhythm and the use of time, and design, the pattern of the movement. Some dances are performed for an audience, while others are more for people who want to participate. Throughout history, people have used dance for many purposes, such as entertainment, recreation, courtship, and celebration.
Soccer is the most popular sport in the world. The game is played primarily with the feet. A player can also use the thigh, the chest, or the head. Goalkeepers are the only players allowed to use their hands. Each team tries to control the ball while moving it down the field. It's easy to play around, but practice helps perfect footwork. The goal is to score a goal.